The biggest disservice that education has done to the students is apparent in accounts and finance subjects. Every day, millions of students around the world sit in a class where those subjects are taught, but most of them hate accounts and finance. To them, it's a boring repetition of draconian rules that make no sense. All they want is to complete that course with at least a pass grade, if not high enough to get admission in the next degree. My own encounter with account and finance occurred only in my professional life because I did not have to study those subjects in my engineering degree. As a management consultant, I saw how accounting was a system that enabled managers to control money by providing reports that were like the dashboard of a car showing the speed, the odometer, the fuel gauge, the RPM, and so on. Then I saw how finance used those numbers and manipulated them into various kinds of ratios to understand what was going on and as inputs for future strategies. It was obvious for me that account and finance were needed to run any company. So I dealt with CEOs, CFOs, finance managers, and accountants, as well as chartered accountants. I learned so much from them. Even though I had not formally studied those two subjects, I became very knowledgeable about them, and I could even design software for basic accounting and strategic financial planning. Those two subjects were very interesting for me. However, when I entered my new career as a counselor to college students, I was shocked to see that except for a few, everybody had issues with accounts. This contrast between the perception of account and finance by professionals compared to that by students, among whom many will turn out to be those very professionals, shocked me. So the students would come for counseling, and they will open up about their problems. The third biggest problem in terms of occurrence among class 11 and 12 students after family related issues and mathematics is none other than accounts. Apparently, students don't even understand why they are supposed to study accounts, even though they have chosen the business or management stream. They are clueless. Most of them, of course, will pass the exams through rote learning of definitions, procedures, and rules, but it doesn't decrease the hatred that they have for that subject. At first, I just couldn't comprehend this disconnect students had with accounting, which, as a management consultant, had found cumbersome but necessary and even fun because I could take the accounting numbers and financial ratios and develop compelling strategies based on them. After meeting several dozens of students, I finally realized what the problem was. In short, it was the single brain approach to teaching accounts and finance to students that created this discontent. Take a look at the diagram below. The problem with the education system across the world today is that it is based on the skill brain quadrant or blue quadrant, as you can see. The students felt the pain of studying accounts because they were directly taken into the definitions, rules, and procedures of accounting. They were taught accounting as if it was a ritual for some religious purpose. In such a ritual, we are told to recite a certain mantra, then put an item here and another item there. But we don't know what is the purpose behind those actions. It is a similar state that the pedagogy of accounting is in today. Upon inquiring why accounting is being taught in such a boring and archaic manner, I found out that it was because the teachers, the accountants, the chartered accountants, and the various professional accounting and finance bodies wanted to make sure that the integrity of accounting will be learned right from the beginning and there will be no mess up. Apparently, those people at the top of the accounting and finance food chain wanted to ensure that the purity of those subjects will never be lost. I agree that this is a noble motivation to teach accounting in such a pure single brain approach, but there's a problem that those designers of syllabus did not address. When you ask a child of 6 what he's going to be when he grows up, most likely he will say, I want to be a doctor, an engineer, a pilot, a nurse, a teacher, a businessman. But you'll never meet a child, even when he is 16, 17, or 18, saying that he'll become an accountant when he grows up. Some might say they want to become CAs because they earn so much money, but the work they're supposed to do in that profession is not as clear as it would be in that of a doctor or a teacher. This is the problem that the syllabus makers of the current accounting course haven't a clue about. So what you have is 95% of students who have never thought of becoming an accountant being taught accountant rigorously, thanklessly, methodically, and without compromise, assuming that they want to build a career in accounting and finance. What can be more ridiculous than that? Most of the students in the management stream or business stream of class 11, 12 will go in other professions than accounting and finance. And even those who will enter that field do not know about it when they are in their late teens. They still think that they can become the next music star or football star or billionaire. So this is where this chapter comes. Here I propose the 4-brain learning approach for accounting and finance. I will go through each of the brain quadrants so that those dominated by that particular one quadrant will be able to understand those subjects and eventually love them. The truth is that even though I've been bad mouthing the skill quadrant or the blue quadrant that is being used at the pedagogy for teaching accounts and finance in the world today, many students are dominated by that particular brain quadrant, and thus they do enjoy accounting being taught the way it is now. It is one of them who eventually becomes an accountant, a finance manager, a CFO, eventually a CEO in the future, if not a renowned chartered accountant or CA. So don't get me wrong, I'm not against the establishment. All I'm saying is that the other 95% of the students have been left behind. Don't they need to know about accounting and finance? Sure they do. But with the current approach to teaching those subjects is alienating them from the very basis of any future aspirations that they could have. That is the foundation of financial literacy and wealth creation and knowledge. Everybody wants to be rich, but even if somebody accumulated tons of money without the knowledge of accounting and finance, becoming rich and sustaining that wealth is nothing more than a pipe dream. True, you would hire accountants and finance managers, but without first-hand knowledge, it's very easy to be swindled. But this is exactly what we are allowing to happen in the lives of our students by not providing the forebrain learning that I'm proposing in this book. Many books have been written on accounts and finance. Although it's not a perfect match, I have categorized them according to the most likely brain quadrant that they would fit in the diagram below. The most famous of them is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's a beautiful book that I myself had read 25 years ago. It sold over 30 million copies worldwide. However, it did not make a single dent in the academia of accounting and finance. The reason was that it spoke from the yellow brain quadrant or wisdom quadrant. It showed finance as a concept. That is true, but it is incomplete. The same is true for the other books in that quadrant. Then in the information quadrant or the red quadrant, you will see books that talk about money at a personal level, that touch the emotions. Books like Your Money or Your Life and The Total Money Makeover have a very strong emotional appeal. But again, it doesn't talk in the language of accounting and finance. Consequently, alone those books are not enough to become rich, and even if you became rich, to sustain that wealth. Then there are those YouTube videos about the billionaire lifestyle that make money seem so easy and positions it as a choice that we make, like if we chose to have a pizza or a burger today. In the green quadrant or knowledge quadrant, you will see books that use the big picture of account and financing. This is where I was in consulting. I was myself dominated by that brain quadrant. So my role as the consultant needing to analyze the data and the reports made me love account finance. But again, that's not enough to see the big picture. You must also know how the numbers are fed in the system and how they are processed. So, in conclusion to the introduction for this chapter, all I want to say is that whether it is a single brain quadrant approach used by academia or by Rich Dad Poor Dad or by Dave Ramsey or by high-flying management consultants like me, it is incomplete. We have to use the four-brain education system, teach everything, especially accounts and finance, to students, if not earlier, at least when they reach class 11, 12. In this chapter, I will be laying out the blueprint of the four-brain education in those two subjects, as I have done in earlier two chapters for English and mathematics.